This is kind of like my revenge. Better beach, right gear. I'm gonna do some land training. I'm gonna go step by step, and I'm gonna get this easily. I watched again Gwen's tutorial, and I'm gonna follow the steps. Pretty nice drop, not the best, not the worst. Hold the board, run, move hands, lean, chest up, back leg, front hand pressure, front leg, place your feet up. Hold the board, run, move your hands, lean, front hand pressure, back leg, front leg, place your feet nicely up. I have to remember to move my back hand more towards the front as soon as I place my back foot on the board. So it's gonna be something like this, up. I'm gonna practice this a bit, then I'm gonna practice the run, then I'm gonna practice gliding with only the front foot on the pad, and then gliding with both feet on the board, hopefully without falling on my wings. No jokes, this is way easier than you think, and it's not even dangerous if you follow the steps. But yeah, just like all the other starts, you have to disassemble the action in smaller, more digestible movements, and you have to practice them one by one. I didn't do it in the first session. In the second session, that's why I got injured. But if you follow the steps, believe me, it's gonna be super simple. Chances are that you will get it at the first or at the second session. So follow the steps and crush it. I just want to mention that if I was able to succeed, it's just because of Gwen's tutorial. And this video is gonna be kind of similar to that, because those are the steps, but still, I will add my little tips. First thing first, guess what? The right gear. Last time I got injured because I was using a foil which was too small for my level in the Beachstart, the Hydrofoil XL. But this time I used the Sirus XL and the Sirus L stab, and it was fantastic. Super easy, super low hand, and super stable thanks to the longer fuse and the bigger stab. So essentially, the smaller the board, the easier. The bigger the stab, the easier. The longer the fuse, the easier. The bigger the front wing, the easier. But until a point, I still do prefer way more these high aspect wings rather than these kind of bulky, clumsy mid aspect wings. We need a wing with a very good low end, so the volume is crucial, the thickness is crucial. Don't start with a super thin wing, even though it has a big span. Don't get into the beach start if you barely know how to dog start. But if you learn to dog start the way I explain it to you in the Pump Foil guide, which by the way is for free and is the first link in the description below, it's gonna be super easy because it's essentially the same process. And if you also know how to rock start, it's gonna be super simple. If you know how to rock start, I believe that you will get it at the first session, no jokes. The other thing that was preventing me from succeeding was the spot. I was sticking to this beach, but it was super crowded first of all, and then the foreshore wasn't linear. It was flat, and then it had this drop, and then it was flat again. So it was super hard. This time the spot was just perfect, super linear, no sudden drop, no waves, and after 5-6 steps, the water was reaching your knees. I was running parallel to the foreshore, but I wasn't starting from outside the water. I was starting from inside, where the water was at my ankle level. Another thing that really helped, that I didn't do in the first and in the second session, was the wall drill. This really helps to warm up your muscles, to get the movement, and also to stretch a bit in the meantime. And of course, I also stretched a little bit at the beginning. After the wall drill, the way I would suggest you to learn it is in 3 steps. Step 1, you run, and then you lean on the board with your chest on the board, and you glide as far as possible. My run is 3 steps because I believe that with these big wings is more than enough. And the other important thing about this step is that you practice the hand switch. So first you're holding the board and then you're placing your feet on top of it. Just like in Wayne's tutorial, the second step is to step on the board with your back foot only. So again, you run 3 steps while you're switching your hands from the edges to the pad. Then you step on the board with your back foot only and you try to glide. You will notice that if you don't put pressure on your front hand, the board will rise. But if you want to glide, if you want to glide straight, you will have not only to put a lot of pressure on your front hand, but you will also have to move a bit your backhand from the tail more towards the front. It's gonna be kind of natural, but it's super important because if you have both hands closer to the nose, it's gonna be easier to put more pressure on the front. Now, my foil is very big, has a lot of lift. So perhaps with other foils, it's not gonna be the case. I also noticed that sometimes I'm placing my backhand in the middle of the board directly at the beginning, directly during the run. It's kind of subconscious. If you practice the second step a lot of times, the third step is not gonna be hard. You just have to bring your front foot up. And you already have your front foot up, you already have your chest up, so the majority of the weight is already on the board. You just have to place your foot in the right spot. It's not super easy because still you are in this uncomfortable position. And you have to transfer your weight because right now your hands are pushing the nose down. Then you have to switch from this hand pressure to this foot pressure, and that's super important because if you don't time it correctly, the board will pitch up. If you remove your hands before you place your front foot, the board will rise and you will stall. And by the way, that's dangerous because you always want to fall in front of the board, never behind the board. First of all, because you risk that you're breaking the stab. If you're falling like this, maybe you're gonna break the stab. But if you always fall in front, you're not gonna break the stab and you're not gonna hit the foil because you're gonna fall in front of the foil. And it's impossible that the foil is gonna hit you after you fall in front. So it's better to touch with your front wing than with your stab. And I think that at this point, I can also give you some tips on how to prevent injuries. And one of them is to fall with a wide stance. So that you're not gonna step on the foil or on the stab. And of course, you have to keep your board far away from your body. Far away from your body. And if you're on the board already, and you feel that you're unstable, the foil is not completely flat, it's rolling, just eject. Just push with your legs the foil as far away as possible from your body. That's how you prevent injuries. And if you do these things, if you do these 2 things, if you don't try to save the impossible, because come on, you know when you're wrong. So just eject. Don't be stubborn. Be humble, eject, and if you do these steps, and if you're humble, if you're not stubborn, it is not gonna be dangerous. Chances are that after a couple of trials, you will find yourself on the board, magically. And at that point, you should stabilize, glide a bit, and then get into pumping movement. But if you don't have a lot of speed, you might want to hop right away to gain a bit of height on the mast, and immediately press on the front so that you can generate speed. But don't press too much, because you don't have speed. So if you press too much, you will just stall. So still, be gentle. With my last beach start video, I kinda scared you, but I hope that with this one, you are more reassured and you are ready to go there and practice this thing. And if you're ready, you can download the beach start guide, which is in my Pumpfoil guide, and the link is in the description below for free. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.